Hi, I'm Nelson, and this is the Sir Nelson English School. In this school, we help you to improve your reading, writing, speaking, listening, and the IELTS skills. In this particular video, we are going to look at the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. The past perfect tense, we use had plus the past participle. For example, had seen. Had plus past participle. The word seen is the past participle of the word see. Infinitive see, past participle seen. Words like that are called past participle. Practice. Use the past perfect. Use the past perfect tense 1, 2, 3, and 4. You write this in your notebook. Let's practice the past perfect tense. We are going to use the picture and the word the day before. I'm A, you are B. Did James drive the car yesterday? I see. Did, that is past simple. Yesterday, past simple. The question is in the past simple. The answer is in the past perfect. He had driven. He had done it before in the past. So there was no need of doing it because he had finished doing it. Follow the model and you try this in your book. Follow the model and you also try this in your book. Follow the model, number 3, and try this. It will help you to practice the past perfect tense. Listening and speaking practice 1. You don't have to write this. The purpose of this exercise is to practice your listening and speaking skills.
Page 10. They had done that before. Listen to the model.
Did Andrew eat lunch at Burger Town yesterday?
No, he didn't want to. He had eaten lunch at Burger Town the day before.
Burger. What you see on the screen is what we call the burger. But we are using the conversation to practice the past simple and the past perfect tense. Remember, yesterday is used in the past simple. Did is used in the past simple. The question is in the past simple. The answer is in the past perfect. Had eaten. Had plus the past participle.
Do exercises 1 through 6. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Did Sheila drive to the beach last weekend?
No, she didn't want to. She had driven to the beach the weekend before.
Remember, Sheila is a woman, so the pronoun for Sheila is she. The beach. If you don't know the beach is what you see there on the screen. The water and the beach. The side of the water, that's what we call the beach. It usually has sand.
2.
Did you go dancing last night?
No, I didn't want to. I had gone dancing the night before.
3.
Did Paul make pancakes for breakfast yesterday morning?
No, he didn't want to. He had made pancakes for breakfast the morning before.
Remember, Paul is a man, so the pronoun for Paul is he. If you don't know pancakes, they are there on the screen. Pancakes. The African pancakes can be made like that, but the European usually make pancakes in that form.
4.
Did your children have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch yesterday?
No, they didn't want to. They had had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch the day before.
Your children. The pronoun for children is they. If you don't know peanut butter, it's there on the screen. If you don't know jelly sandwiches, that's how they look like. They are very tasty. We can add peanut butter on many things like bread, sandwiches, and others.
5.
Did you and your friends see a movie yesterday evening?
No, we didn't want to. We had seen a movie the evening before.
6.
Did the Browns take their children to the aquarium last Saturday afternoon?
No, they didn't want to. They had taken their children to the aquarium the Saturday before.
The Browns. Those are many. Brown, that means the family. You get the name, the family name, you add the S. So the pronoun for the Browns is they. Aquarium. If you don't know an aquarium, it's what you see there on the screen. People go there to see the marine life. Animals and plants that live in water can be seen in the aquarium, as you can see. Practice 2. Follow the model and practice your English. You practice your listening and speaking.
Page 11. It had already begun. Listen to the model.
Did Alan get to the movie on time?
No, he didn't. By the time he got to the movie, it had already begun.
Follow the model and practice the past perfect had already begun. We are adding the word already. Sometimes you can add the word already in the past perfect between had.
Do exercises 1 through 9. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Did you get to the plane on time?
No, I didn't. By the time I got to the plane, it had already taken off.
'Take off'. If you don't know what to take off means, you can look on the screen. The plane is taking off. It's beginning to fly. Had taken off. Remember, we are practicing the use of the past perfect. This time, we are adding the word already.
2.
Did Vicky get to the bank on time?
No, she didn't. By the time she got to the bank, it had already closed.
3.
Did Mr. and Mrs. Slater get to the play on time?
No, they didn't. By the time they got to the play, it had already started.
Remember to use the right pronouns. Mr. and Mrs. Slater, they. The play, the pronoun is it. If you don't know a play, you can look at the screen. when you are acting on the stage, in the theater, on the stage, that is called a play.
4.
Did you and your friends get to the game on time?
No, we didn't. By the time we got to the game, it had already begun.
Remember to use the correct pronoun, you and your friends. The right pronoun is we, you and your friends. The game. The right pronoun for the game is it.
5.
Did Howard get to the meeting on time?
No, he didn't. By the time he got to the meeting, it had already ended.
Remember to use the correct pronoun, Howard. The pronoun is he. Meeting, the pronoun is it. In your answer, remember to add the pronoun there. If you don't know a meeting, it's there on the screen.
6.
Did Emily get to the train on time?
No, she didn't. By the time she got to the train, it had already left the station.
Emily is a woman, so the pronoun is she. Train, the pronoun is it. And remember to use the past perfect. You have to change the verb to the past participle. The past participle of leave is left.
7.
Did the Taylors get to the ferry on time?
No, they didn't. By the time they got to the ferry, it had already sailed away.
A ferry. If you don't know a ferry, it's there on the screen. It carries many cars, people, cargo. It is usually huge and can carry very many things.
8.
Did Kathleen get to the space launch on time?
No, she didn't. By the time she got to the space launch, it had already happened.
Space launch. That is a place where they send the vehicle to space, to the moon, to the sun, to the space. It is called the space launch. We normally see it on TV.
9.
Did Jerry get to the graduation ceremony on time?
No, he didn't. By the time he got to the graduation ceremony, it had already finished.
Graduation ceremony. If you don't know a graduation ceremony, you are looking at it on the screen. The past perfect continuous. Let's go to the past perfect continuous tense. In this tense, we use had been plus verb plus ing. For example, he, let us use the prompt he and go. He had been going. Had been going is what we call the past perfect continuous. Practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use the past perfect continuous. We are going to practice this tense using the model. Listen to the model and follow.
Do exercise. Page 12. They had been going out for a long time. Listen to the model.
Is it true that Dave and his girlfriend broke up?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had they been going out?
They had been going out for a long time.
A model is an example. Follow the model and practice. Is it true? We are going to begin with, is it true that Dave and his girlfriend broke up? Broke up is past simple. Yes, it is true they broke up. I'm sorry to hear that. It is bad news, so we have to use a word to show our sympathy. I'm sorry to hear that. How long had they been going out? That is past perfect continuous. How long? The past perfect continuous, we want to know the period of time. How long in the past? The period of time in the past that something was happening is what we call the past perfect continuous. We want to know the period of time that an activity took place in the past. How long had they been going out? They had been going out for a long time. We are going to follow the model and we use for a long time.
Do exercises 1 through 6. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 1. We'll begin.
Is it true that you had to cancel your trip to Hawaii?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had you been planning it?
I had been planning it for a long time.
2. We'll begin.
Is it true that your husband got laid off at the factory?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had he been working there?
He had been working there for a long time.
Laid off. To lay off someone is to leave the job. To make you leave the job. Lay off. He lost the job.
3. We'll begin.
Is it true that your grandparents had to sell their house?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had they been living there?
They had been living there for a long time.
4. You begin.
Is it true that your daughter injured herself and couldn't participate in the gymnastics competition?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had she been training for it?
She had been training for it for a long time.
5. You begin.
Is it true that your son got sick and couldn't perform in the school play?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had he been rehearsing for it?
He had been rehearsing for it for a long time.
6. You begin.
Is it true that you came down with the flu and you couldn't take the SAT test?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry to hear that. How long had you been preparing for it?
I had been preparing for it for a long time.